In our quest for deeper connections and meaningful relationships, we often overlook the subtle signs that can reveal someone's true intentions. Deceptive behavior isn't always overt. In fact, some of the most dangerous red flags are silent, subtle, and easily missed. Today, we're diving into the world of psychology and behavior to uncover the hidden patterns that many of us tend to ignore when interacting with women who may not have our best interests at heart. You see, deception isn't always about grand lies or obvious manipulation. Often, it's the quieter, more insidious traits that can slip under the radar, leaving us questioning our own judgment. These silent red flags can creep in gradually, taking root in our relationships without us realizing until it's too late. From inconsistency in their actions to gaslighting and emotional manipulation, these behaviors are designed to undermine our trust and control our perceptions. In this video, we'll explore 8 key red flags that often go unnoticed, helping you identify deceptive patterns before they cause harm. Whether you're in a personal relationship, dealing with someone in your social circle, or simply navigating the complexities of human connection, knowing these signs can empower you to make better, more informed choices. Let's delve into the world of silent red flags and equip ourselves with the awareness to avoid falling into situations that could lead to unnecessary heartbreak or confusion. Stay tuned, because what you learn here could transform the way you interact and connect with others. Let's get started on uncovering these hidden warning signs. This introduction sets the stage for your video, highlighting the importance of recognizing subtle signs of deception. Number 1. Overly charming and sweet talker. One of the most common silent red flags of deceptive behavior is someone who comes across as overly charming and sweet-talking. At first glance, charm may seem like a positive trait. Who doesn't appreciate a bit of kindness or smooth communication? However, when taken to the extreme, charm can be a tool for manipulation, especially when combined with hidden agendas. Deceptive individuals often use charm as a way to gain your trust quickly and create an illusion of sincerity. They may appear friendly, warm, and attentive, showering you with compliments and making you feel valued. This can be particularly appealing as it boosts your ego and gives the impression that you're special to them. However, the charm isn't genuine. It's often superficial and strategically designed to serve their own purposes. One key characteristic of overly charming individuals is their ability to say exactly what you want to hear. They know how to read social cues and craft their words in ways that resonate with your desires and aspirations. This can make them seem highly relatable and trustworthy, which makes it easier for you to let your guard down. However, once they've gained your trust, their intentions may shift. They may start withholding important information or altering their behavior in ways that conflict with the image they initially portrayed. What makes charm so dangerous is its subtle nature. Unlike blatant lies or manipulative tactics, charming behavior can be hard to detect because it feels genuine. It's not always accompanied by clear contradictions or blatant inconsistencies. Instead, deceptive charm works through small inconsistencies, half-truths, and a lack of accountability. They may say things that sound good but fail to back up their promises with actions. They create a narrative that appeals to your emotions, making you believe they have your best interests at heart. Moreover, deceptive charm can be especially effective when paired with other manipulative behaviors such as gaslighting or playing the victim. They might use their charm to build rapport, only to later undermine your confidence or shift blame onto you when things go wrong. This creates a cycle where you begin to doubt yourself while they continue to control the narrative. It's important to remember that charm, while seemingly harmless, can be a facade for deeper, more self-serving intentions. In relationships, whether romantic, professional, or social, It's crucial to remain observant of the actions behind the words. Genuine connections are built on trust, consistency, and mutual respect, not just flattery and charm. By paying attention to subtle shifts in behavior, looking for inconsistencies, and questioning the motives behind someone's words, you can safeguard yourself from being drawn into relationships or situations where charm may mask ulterior motives. Recognizing the signs of deceptive charm empowers you to make better decisions and maintain healthier boundaries in your interactions. Number 2, constant mystery and lack of clarity. Another silent red flag of deceptive behavior is someone who maintains a constant air of mystery and lacks clarity in their communication. While everyone values a bit of privacy and the occasional desire for personal space, when a person consistently shrouds their life in secrecy or provides vague and inconsistent information, it can be a sign of deception. A key characteristic of deceptive individuals is their reluctance to share detailed or consistent information about themselves. They may provide vague answers to direct questions, leaving you guessing about crucial aspects of their life, thoughts, and intentions. This lack of clarity creates an environment of uncertainty, making it difficult to build a genuine connection based on trust and transparency. One reason why deceptive individuals rely on mystery is that it allows them to maintain control over the narrative. By keeping key details hidden, they avoid accountability and reduce the risk of others fully understanding their true intentions. For example, they might refuse to answer straightforward questions about their past, future plans, or current circumstances, leaving you in the dark and dependent on their word alone. Inconsistent stories and explanations are another common trait. They may tell different versions of events, sometimes subtly altering details or contradicting themselves when confronted. This inconsistency creates confusion, leaving you unsure of what to believe. Over time, you might feel as though you're walking on eggshells, unsure of their true character or motives. Deceptive individuals often use this lack of clarity to manipulate others. By fostering uncertainty, they create an environment where their actions can't be easily scrutinized. They may change their stories or leave out critical information to avoid revealing their true selves. This forces others to rely solely on their word, making it easier for them to control perceptions and hide their ulterior motives. Moreover, the constant air of mystery can lead to emotional dependency. When someone withholds information and refuses to clarify their intentions, others may become emotionally invested, trying to fill in the gaps themselves. This makes it harder to step back and assess whether the relationship or situation is genuinely healthy. To recognize this red flag, pay attention to how someone communicates with you. Do they provide clear and consistent information, or do their stories seem unclear and prone to changes? Do they avoid answering direct questions or offer vague, non-committal responses? If so, it could be a sign that they're concealing something or using mystery to obscure their true intentions. Building trust requires openness and transparency. If someone consistently withholds critical information or offers unclear explanations, it's important to remain cautious. Recognizing the signs of deceptive mystery and lack of clarity can help you establish boundaries and protect yourself from being drawn into situations where trust is repeatedly undermined. Number 3, gaslighting and manipulation. Gaslighting and manipulation are powerful yet often subtle tactics employed by deceptive individuals to control and distort your perception of reality. These behaviors are deeply rooted in psychological manipulation and can leave lasting effects on your sense of self and judgment. Gaslighting is a form of psychological manipulation where the individual aims to make you doubt your own memories, perceptions, and feelings. They may deny the truth, distort facts, or provide contradictory explanations, leading you to question your own sanity or judgment. A classic example of gaslighting involves someone telling you that your memories or experiences are false, even when they're not. This creates confusion, self-doubt, and a sense of insecurity, making it easier for the manipulator to maintain control. One of the key ways gaslighting manifests is through dismissiveness or denial of your feelings. For instance, if you express concerns or feelings about a situation, they might respond with statements like, "That didn't happen," or "You're overthinking it." Over time, these subtle yet persistent doubts chip away at your confidence, causing you to second-guess yourself and trust the manipulator's version of events instead of your own. Manipulation often goes hand in hand with gaslighting. Deceptive individuals may use manipulation to control your actions, emotions, or decisions, often under the guise of being helpful or concerned. They might exploit your weaknesses, fears, or insecurities to steer you toward decisions that benefit their own agenda. For example, they could use flattery or guilt-tripping to make you feel obligated to support their desires or goals, while simultaneously undermining your autonomy. One common manipulation tactic is silent treatment or withholding information, leaving you feeling isolated and unsure of your place in the relationship. They might use the silent treatment to punish or control, thereby keeping you off balance and uncertain about how to proceed. This creates an environment of emotional confusion, making it difficult to address your needs or assert your boundaries. Manipulative individuals may also excel at triangulation, pitting you against others to create doubt and rivalry. They may create situations that make you feel isolated, forcing you to depend on their judgment and approval, while portraying others as threats or rivals. This manipulative behavior further erodes trust, creating a cycle of dependence and confusion. To identify gaslighting and manipulation, pay attention to discrepancies in their stories and actions. Notice if they regularly undermine your confidence or dismiss your feelings, especially when you confront them about questionable behavior. If you find yourself constantly doubting your perceptions or decisions, despite evidence to the contrary, it could be a sign of gaslighting at play. Protecting yourself from gaslighting and manipulation requires maintaining self-awareness, trusting your instincts, and establishing clear boundaries. Recognizing these behaviors allows you to reclaim your sense of reality and make healthier decisions in your relationships. Number 4. Victim mentality and playing the blame game. One of the most insidious red flags of deceptive behavior is the tendency to adopt a victim mentality and consistently play the blame game. Individuals who embrace this mindset often portray themselves as perpetual victims, constantly seeing themselves as innocent parties who are wronged by others. They shift responsibility for their actions onto others, making you feel as though any conflict or issue is always someone else's fault. The victim mentality is a subtle yet powerful tool of manipulation. People who adopt this mindset tend to create a narrative that casts them as helpless, powerless, and unfairly treated by circumstances or other individuals. They rarely take responsibility for their role in situations, instead choosing to focus on how they've been wronged. This behavior shifts the focus from their actions to external factors, allowing them to avoid accountability. One key characteristic of individuals who play the blame game is their tendency to avoid introspection. Instead of examining their own contributions to problems, they place all the responsibility on others, often exaggerating their own suffering and minimizing the actions of those around them. They might tell stories of perpetual hardship, always casting themselves as the victim, while casting others as the perpetrators. For example, if something goes wrong in a relationship or interaction, they might say things like, "It's not my fault, I was forced into this situation," or "They made me do it." This deflects accountability and creates an atmosphere where others feel obligated to manage or fix their problems. The result is a dynamic where they remain in control of their narrative, while you are left to deal with their grievances and frustrations. Playing the blame game can also involve creating chaos or tension by pitting people against each other. Deceptive individuals may attempt to stir conflict between you and others by exaggerating grievances or misrepresenting situations. This keeps others emotionally drained and off balance, preventing genuine connection or resolution. What makes this behavior particularly difficult to identify is how convincing it can be. Victim mentalities often evoke sympathy, making it challenging to distinguish between someone genuinely struggling and someone who is using their victim status as a manipulative tool. To identify this red flag, watch for consistent patterns of blaming others, lack of accountability, and exaggerated narratives of hardship. If someone repeatedly portrays themselves as a victim without acknowledging their role in the situation, it's a sign that they may be shifting responsibility to maintain control over others. Protecting yourself from this behavior involves maintaining healthy boundaries and encouraging accountability. Recognizing the victim mentality and playing the blame game helps ensure you're not pulled into a cycle of guilt or emotional manipulation. Number 5. Ignoring boundaries and personal space. One of the more subtle but important red flags in any relationship, whether personal, professional, or social, is the consistent disregard for boundaries and personal space. Boundaries serve as essential guidelines that define what's acceptable and what's not, both in terms of physical space and emotional comfort. When someone consistently ignores your boundaries, it often points to deeper issues of control, entitlement, and manipulation. Deceptive individuals who disregard boundaries often do so intentionally. They may ignore clear signals of discomfort or insist on crossing limits, creating an environment where their needs and desires take precedence over yours. This behavior isn't necessarily about a lack of awareness. It's often a tactic to establish dominance and control. For instance, if someone repeatedly seeks personal information, intrudes on your time, or disregards your need for privacy, they're not respecting your emotional or physical boundaries. They may push for closeness when you've expressed a need for space, insisting that their desires are more important than your comfort. This can manifest in various ways, from excessive curiosity about your personal life to constant interruptions when you're busy or need time alone. Ignoring boundaries often goes hand in hand with other manipulative behaviors, such as guilt-tripping or emotional manipulation. A deceptive person may use phrases like, "Why are you being so distant?" or "You're being too sensitive," making you question your own boundaries and comfort levels. They may convince you that your need for space is unreasonable or selfish, thereby creating a sense of obligation to meet their demands. This behavior not only creates discomfort, but can also erode your sense of autonomy. When someone disregards your boundaries, it's often an attempt to assert control and make you feel indebted or obligated to them. They may insist on being involved in your life more than you're comfortable with, hoping that over time their persistence will make you feel obligated to comply. To recognize this red flag, observe whether someone consistently crosses your boundaries despite your clear communication. Do they frequently ignore your need for privacy, insist on knowing details you've asked to keep private, or become overly involved in areas you've set limits around? If so, it's a sign that they may not respect your autonomy or well-being. Protecting your personal space and boundaries is essential for maintaining healthy relationships. Recognizing this red flag empowers you to set clear boundaries, communicate your needs effectively, and avoid getting pulled into relationships where your comfort and well-being are consistently disregarded. Number 6. Inconsistent actions versus words. One of the most reliable red flags of deceptive behavior is the disparity between someone's actions and their words. People tend to express their intentions and promises verbally, but when those words are not backed by consistent actions, it becomes a sign of dishonesty and manipulation. Deceptive individuals often rely on this inconsistency to maintain control, gain trust, and create confusion in their relationships. The difference between someone's words and their actions can be subtle or glaring. For instance, they may say one thing, but behave in ways that directly contradict what they claim. This disconnect creates confusion and doubts about their intentions, leading others to question whether their promises or commitments are genuine. One clear sign of this inconsistency is when someone makes promises they don't follow through on. They might assure you of their loyalty, commitment, or intentions, but their actions reveal a different reality. For example, they may repeatedly assure you that they care about your needs, but fail to show up when you need support, or ignore your boundaries despite assurances to respect them. These kinds of contradictions create a sense of frustration and uncertainty. Another manifestation of this behavior is when someone provides contradictory explanations or stories. They may tell you one thing, only to change their version of events later, creating confusion about what's true. Over time, you may find yourself questioning what to believe because their actions fail to align with their words. Deceptive individuals often use these inconsistencies to manipulate perceptions and control outcomes. They may say one thing to gain trust, but act in ways that serve their own interests. This creates an environment where trust is eroded, as their actions reveal that their words may not be trustworthy. To spot this red flag, pay attention to patterns of behavior. Do their actions consistently align with their promises and claims, or do they frequently contradict themselves? Are they reliable when it comes to following through, or do they frequently make excuses for their inconsistencies? If you notice repeated inconsistencies, it could be a sign that their actions and words are not in sync. Protecting yourself from this behavior involves staying observant and questioning what you're being told, especially when you notice patterns of discrepancy. Trusting actions over words ensures that you're making decisions based on reality, not deceptive narratives. Recognizing these inconsistencies allows you to avoid being drawn into situations where manipulation and dishonesty thrive. Number 7. Excessive curiosity or control over your life. One of the more subtle yet concerning red flags of deceptive behavior is someone's excessive curiosity or intrusive control over your life. While interest in someone's well-being is natural, when this curiosity becomes excessive or controlling, it often signals underlying manipulation and an attempt to assert dominance over your personal space. Deceptive individuals often display excessive curiosity as a means of gaining access to information that allows them to influence or control you. They may ask detailed questions about your personal life, thoughts, and habits, often with the appearance of genuine interest. However, their true intent may be to gather information that they can later use against you or to manipulate your decisions. For example, someone might ask intrusive questions about your past relationships, current goals, or future plans, even after you've indicated discomfort. They may press for details that don't seem relevant to them, under the guise of concern or curiosity. This kind of behavior is not always about genuine interest. It's often about collecting data to later use for manipulation or control. Deceptive individuals may also try to exert control over your life by influencing your decisions or undermining your autonomy. They might offer unsolicited advice, insist on making decisions on your behalf, or suggest that they know what's best for you. For instance, they could dismiss your preferences, telling you that you should act differently, or make choices that align more with their expectations. By creating a sense of dependence or obligation, they can manipulate you into seeking their approval or direction. Over time, this can lead to a loss of independence as they control your thought processes and choices through subtle pressure or guilt-tripping. Another common tactic is gaslighting in combination with excessive curiosity. They may use the information they've gathered to create doubt in your mind, convincing you that your thoughts, actions, or decisions are wrong. This can make you feel as though your autonomy and judgment are being undermined, leading you to rely on their input instead of trusting your own instincts. To identify this red flag, pay attention to how someone interacts with you. Are they consistently prying into your personal life, asking detailed questions about your goals, plans, and decisions? Do they dismiss your boundaries or try to control your choices? If so, it could indicate an attempt to manipulate or dominate you. Protecting yourself from excessive curiosity and control involves establishing and maintaining strong boundaries. Trusting your instincts and prioritizing your autonomy ensures that you're not drawn into relationships where your personal space and decisions are constantly questioned or undermined. Recognizing these behaviors allows you to reclaim your control and make decisions that align with your well-being. Number 8. Sudden emotional outbursts or silent treatment. Sudden emotional outbursts and the silent treatment are common tactics used by deceptive individuals to control, manipulate, and create emotional confusion. Both behaviors serve to exert power and maintain dominance in relationships, often leaving others feeling unsure, guilty, or responsible for the manipulator's emotional state. Sudden emotional outbursts. These outbursts can come in the form of anger, frustration, or tears, often triggered by small, insignificant incidents. The purpose of such outbursts is not only to intimidate, but also to deflect blame away from themselves and onto others. Deceptive individuals may create chaos or disrupt a conversation by displaying irrational anger, making you feel as though you've done something wrong, even when you haven't. This behavior often results in you walking on eggshells, uncertain of what might set them off next. Over time, these outbursts can erode trust and cause others to second-guess themselves, leaving the manipulator in control of the emotional narrative. For example, someone might suddenly become hostile or angry if you challenge them or ask for clarification. They may escalate the situation, making you feel responsible for their negative emotions, rather than addressing the actual issue at hand. These outbursts often serve to divert attention from their own behavior, creating confusion and guilt. Silent treatment. On the other hand, the silent treatment is a form of emotional withdrawal meant to punish and isolate. Deceptive individuals use this tactic to assert control and convey dissatisfaction, often leaving others unsure about what they did wrong or how to resolve the issue. When someone refuses to engage, it creates an atmosphere of confusion and uncertainty, as you're left wondering what's wrong without any clear communication. Silent treatment is particularly damaging because it leaves you feeling isolated and emotionally abandoned. The manipulator might give you the cold shoulder, refusing to answer your messages or engage with you, making you feel as though you've done something to offend or upset them. This tactic keeps you on edge, searching for answers that may never come, while the manipulator maintains control by withholding information. Both sudden emotional outbursts and the silent treatment are ways of undermining your sense of self and emotional stability. They're designed to create confusion and guilt, making you question your actions, decisions, and even your own worth. Over time, these tactics can erode your self-esteem, leading you to believe that you're the one at fault, even when you're not. To identify these behaviors, watch for patterns of emotional unpredictability or sudden withdrawal. If someone consistently fluctuates between outbursts and silence without providing clear explanations, it's a sign they may be using these tactics to manipulate you. Protecting yourself involves setting boundaries, addressing issues directly, and trusting your own judgment over their attempts to create emotional confusion. Recognizing these red flags allows you to reclaim your emotional stability and ensure that your well-being is not constantly undermined by such behavior.